wait a minute, body, I just rested all of last week. It was summer vacation. Hey, y'all, welcome back to a hype message that may not be so hype. I don't know. My name's Kelly Poole. If we haven't met, I record weekly hype messages to remind you and myself of how amazing we are as leaders and people in this world. Listen, y'all, last week I went on a very glorious vacation and rested all week. It was no plans. Every day, wake up, check in. What do you want to do? Make plans, do it. Unfolds perfectly. And so naturally, when I came back from vacation, I, like most of you, came back to the overwhelming amount of things that I have to do. And even though when I really pull back and think about my life right now in this moment, there aren't an overwhelming amount of things to do, but human nature reminds me that there always are. And so I came back, and because I had rested, and I had rested so well, right? A+ on the relaxation circuit, I just knew that I was ready to do all the things. I was ready to jump back in and have the meetings on my calendar and move the agenda forward and go and go and go. And on Wednesday, my body said, no, absolutely not. It's funny, the body always knows things before we do. And I was preparing for therapy on Wednesday afternoon. And it was earlier in the day on Wednesday. And most of the time I'm like, I feel really good. I'm not really sure. So sometimes I'll journal and say like, hey, self, what do you want to do today in session? And as I was journaling and about 45 minutes out from my session, and I've been doing some sort of subconscious therapy work. And so my body decided to sort of give out. My back went out, I guess. I don't really know if it's like as intense as you would see on a sitcom, but I was down for the count. Okay. She was on the floor reaching for the heating pad that was out of reach and my phone, which was out of reach, which immediately, probably within 2 to 3 seconds of me feeling that weird twinge that I'm guessing a lot of us have felt now, I immediately was like, my back is broken and I'm alone. I am alone. You all, it was the most dramatic moment of my life, or at least one of my top 5s. And I for sure thought that in that moment, in my very beautiful home, I was going to die alone on my floor with my heating pad and my cell phone out of reach. And that was really going to be it. That was literally what was going to be on, the headlines, because my life is that important that there are headlines about it. And so, in that, minute that I've now made into a very long story, I realized what I needed to work on in therapy that day. Having that moment, and it passed quickly. I am fine. There's nothing wrong physically. It gave me a moment to realize that I was holding on to my ability to produce and relating that directly to my ability to be provided for. Right? So I deserve vacation, and I deserve it to be luxurious and wonderful and restful as long as I can produce the equivalent outcome to pay for it, to provide for it, and et cetera, et cetera. I didn't know that at the time, but that is sort of the limiting belief that I began to work with in session on Wednesday. And then up until Sunday, my body gave me the chance to listen to it deeper. And so I had been just really releasing a lot. And yet my right side had this really tight, just clamping down, will not let go tension within it. And I realized that, this is not a physical request. There is something here that my body is asking me to release, and I clearly am not ready for it. And so for me, this was around like my right hip, my right ovary, sort of reproductive area, muscles in the pelvis. And as I've been listening, it's like, okay, body, tell me more about this. And I've just been asking myself, and over this weekend, things have definitely come up, frustration around, I have things to do, do that I, one, need to do or that I, two, want to do, and I can't, and I'm frustrated. And so I was reading and talking to some friends about how the right side of our body in a lot of energetic traditions represents the yang energy, right? The masculine, the doing energy, the action-oriented side, the side that's focused on sort of moving forward and making things happen. And the hip itself, specifically where I'm feeling this discomfort, is literally the joint that propels us forward. So my right hip was feeling like it's bracing for something, like it's locked, like it won't move. And it's literally my body saying, no, don't do that next thing yet. We're not ready. Right. And so I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. I jumped back from vacation, jumped back out into the world of social media and community recently. And my whole body's like, hold up, what's happening? And so typically I'm the one that pushes ahead, but in this commitment to self, I've been trying to just stop and notice myself more. And my body this weekend really was like, listen, I have some things to say about how we move through the world in this next chapter of whatever is coming. And I need you to listen to me. And so thinking about the right side, being the side that really is about sort of forward movement, I wanted to know what my body had to say. And so for me, over the weekend, my body has been speaking in sort of ways. So I'll just say the big themes that have been coming up for me is really this fear of stopping or slowing down, which I think we all have. And for many of us, it's like the thought that we would slow down or stop producing just is a non-starter. So many of you will be like, what, girl, please, we got bills to pay. And I get that. I do, because in this world, we have bills to pay. But I had made a commitment to myself at the beginning of this year of 2025 that I would not dishonor myself, right? So I would listen to self, because I knew that I wanted to be more deeply connected to God and to my inner being and higher power. And so that meant that I had to start listening deeper when things were asking me to pay attention. And so in this moment, I really had to acknowledge that I was still scared and that I still had some grief and some anger around lack of safety and lack of provision, holding on to a lot of pain around not feeling supported, a lot of old narratives around being the only one, a lot of repressed, stored creative energy that feels like it's literally going stale inside my body because it's been waiting for space to emerge, just all of these things. And I was like, what do I do? Like, there has to be an action that will alleviate this pain so that I can start doing more action so that I can then get the result that I want. And I feel like recording the audios is helpful for me because when I say it out loud, I hear the absurdity in it and also the humanness in it, right? Like, that's how things work down here. But I wanted to just offer to you all what I sort of stumbled upon this weekend as I was reflecting. One of the things is that my body and our trauma that's often stored in our body really is remembering an old story. And that story might be ours, but it also might be generational, right? Trauma can be stored in our fascia and other places. And so I really had to give my body and myself permission to let it go. I had to remind my body that, oh, even if whatever this feeling is true, it's not true now. So I pulled up a couple permission slips for myself and permission statements. I spent a lot of time holding my right hip and saying, it is safe to let go. I am fully supported and I don't have to hold this alone anymore. It is safe to let go. I am fully supported and I don't have to hold this alone anymore. I am safe to let go. I am fully supported and I don't have to hold this alone anymore. God, it was just even saying that for 15 seconds, I feel the tension in my body start to relax and just being with my body. Committing not to going on the hike, not to doing the thing outside that I wanted to do on my calendar, but just saying, no, I'm in it. If you have something to say to me, I am here to listen. And I got to tell you all, over 72 hours, I felt my body release things in really subtle ways that I hadn't felt in a while. Some of that was through tears, and some of it was through, little noticeable cracks and fizzles. And a lot of it was just a constant reminder and resetting to my nervous system that there are old patterns stored in my brain and in our collective world about all the things that are required for us to be worthy and be provided for. But those things aren't true, and they're not the truth that I live in. The truth is that we are always and always have been abundantly provided for. We were created by an abundant creator, and we have everything that we need. And so as I move through this world of receiving more and allowing more and opening myself for more abundance, I am so grateful that this weekend was a nice reminder, albeit a little physically uncomfortable, but a nice reminder that I don't have to do anything to deserve, be worthy of, or to receive that abundance. It is mine. Abundance is our birthright. We are one with God, and all is well, and all will always be well. So if your body's creaking up on you a little bit in the next few days or weeks or months, I encourage you to just say yes to the invitation to listen and ask your body what it might want you to release so that you can be open to receive more. I love you, friends. I hope you're having a great week or day or year. I'll talk to you soon.